We're here to collect what's left. Just the DNA samples. In and out.
Welcome to the Fiend Zone here on Horror Fiend TV. Now the summer blockbusters has begun, and we have films coming out and films that just recently dropped. As you know, Superman. Haven't watched it yet, but we'll watch it. But we had Jurassic World Rebirth 2025 come out, and this film is directed by Gareth Edwards. It also stars Scarlett Johansson as Zora, Jonathan Bailey as Dr. Henry Loomis, Rupert Friend as Martin Krebs, and Marshala Ali as Duncan. Please give this guy a Blade movie already, Marvel. I am a Marvel fan. I'm a comic book fan, and this guy really needs that Blade movie. Let's get it going, Marvel. But we're going to talk about this film because, well, you guys are wondering why exactly it is a horror channel talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. Well, not for nothing, but the horror community has really been talking about this film and whether or not this film is actually a horror film. Yes, I know it has a PG-13 rating, but there are many aspects of this film that I would consider to have, well, horror elements. So, the synopsis of this one: Zora leads a team of skilled operatives funded by Martin Krebs to a dangerous island where there's a research facility, one of the originals from the Jurassic World time. And, well, they're looking to get three separate DNAs in order to use for life saving medication, basically research. Now, little did they know that the island they're entering was one where they were splicing the DNA of these dinosaurs in order to create new dinosaurs for the purpose of new attraction. Because unfortunately, well, the dinosaurs are going extinct once again, and nobody cares about them anymore. So, this is what opens up one of the horror elements of this film, because what you see behind me is the cold open of this film. And the fact that, well, I wonder how much Snickers paid in order to endorse their product. And unfortunately, their product is what leads to this thing and others escaping the island prior to Zora and her crew coming to this island. So, once again, why are we specifically talking about this film on a horror channel? Well, there are a lot of horror elements in this film. One thing I enjoyed, this film is actually fun to watch in the theater. So do not wait for it to come out on DVD. Do not wait for it to go streaming. Go straight to the film and watch it, because the theater is where you need to watch this film. Now, what I liked about watching this film in the theater is the reactions people are getting. One of the things about horror films is the reactions that the audience gets. You had a lot of scenes in this film where, well, people were about to lose their limbs, and I was actually looking around, had people around me who were moving almost like if they were dodging to get from getting their limbs basically bit off. But that is one of the horror elements that are in this film. Now, another horror element in this film, which I heard a lot during as I was looking in the horror community as far as social media, is, well, this film has body horror. I mean, the thing behind me, when you finally get to see it come alive on the big screen, the first impression that a lot of people got, especially my wife, she was like, "Oh my god, it actually looks like it has the head of a xenomorph." But the whole rest of it is just like different dinosaurs, and you couldn't really make a what exactly it was, because the glimpses of it and the fact that they use a lot of the cinematography and a lot of the nighttime in order to kind of have this creature come around. Now, there was a T Rex in this film. Unfortunately, it didn't have as much as interaction with this thing, because that's what Jurassic, the franchise does. You have to epic battle at the end with whatever creature it is and a T Rex. Fortunately, we did not get that in this one, but we actually got very cool dinosaurs, these crossbreeds that they were crazy to look at, and they actually aided in this film with the jump scares. There were a lot of jump scares in this film. And once again, that's another thing with the horror films. Between the jump scares, the reactions, this film kind of had a little bit of everything as far as the horror elements. And then you have the other tropes. The bad decision making by members of the team and just everybody who was part of this expedition. And one knock I have on this film, I'm sorry, but I don't see what the addition of the family was and what they brought to the film. But that's something separate. I'll let you guys look at other reviews of Jurassic World when they talk about that. But for me, I'm kind of targeting the horror elements of this film because, like I said, the jump scares were good. This creature, whatever it was, I mean, we didn't really get any backstory as far as what DNA they put together in order to create this. But you have this different island, which I enjoyed the fact that they added another island element to it. Not only they added another island element to it, they actually aided basically with understanding now why some of these dinosaurs are going extinct because certain areas in the climate that they could not live in, the fact that this island or other islands in the equator were a good place for these dinosaurs to continue to live. But let's go back as far as horror elements of this. Like I said, the body horror of it, you had basically these variety of dinosaurs. You had one that you couldn't really make out what it was. It had like the head of, I would say, almost like an eagle, but reptilian at the same time mixed with pterodactyl. But it was this creature that the first time you get to see it is when one of the guys, one of the family members, the boyfriend, goes to use the bathroom, and here comes a velociraptor, which is a fan favorite of. If you watch the Jurassic franchise, we love our velociraptors, but well, the velociraptor didn't last so long because this bird thing kind of took it out. But this is where I do believe this film kind of wavers into the horror aspect of it because of the fact that you had these body horrors. You had these dinosaurs that were created and looked differently from what we're accustomed to seeing. And once again, the thing behind me, I wanted to see more of, and I love the way they use basically the darkness and the smoke and the mist and the fog to have this creature come in because the less you've seen of it, the more interested you were in it, and the less information you had about it made you even more curious exactly what it was.
Come on!
Now, one other thing that this film had as far as horror elements, it had broken characters. The Zora and Duncan characters are two broken characters who have a little bit of the dark past, but their friendship and the fact that they keep doing these expeditions, these operations in order to kind of distract themselves of things that happen in their lives. Now, Zora, once again played by Scarlett Johansson, was a very good character in this film. She played the role she needed to play, and whatever she went through in her life helped her character throughout this film. Now, if you have not watched this film, like I said, definitely go watch it. There are a lot of horror elements to it. I don't want to give too much of this film. I gave enough where I'm hoping that you go watch it. Now, if you've watched it, I'm curious to see exactly what you think about this film. What do you think about the horror elements of this film? Do you think this movie is potentially a horror movie? And if not, why? Give me the reason, because I made this episode to kind of have a little bit open debate exactly why I believe this is a horror film. Now, if Dr. Moreau was around, this would have been his playground because with all the technology, all the creations they did, I'm sure that you could actually make a twist into this as far as having a scientist who has the Dr. Moreau state of mind as far as creating the next evolution of man. Now, like I said, watch the film. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know exactly where do you see other horror elements in this film. This was a tricky one to do because I know people are talking about this film and how successful this film was and how it beat expectations. I've seen people rate this one as high as number 2 on the franchise. I mean, the original is always going to be the best one, but I like the fact that it brought back some of the elements of the original, the jump scares, scenes that make you react as a fan in the audience. I mean, this film had a lot of stuff that worked good for it. Some elements that, like I said, I didn't like too much the family, But there was a lot of cinematography in this film that helped you feel like you were there and help with the reaction. Like I said, there was a lot of people sitting in the chair, squirming around, moving their feet as if they were being attacked. And for me, that is a successful horror reaction to a film and to things you're watching on the big screen. So watch the film. Let me know what you think about it. Leave a comment below. I will respond. Let's debate about this because I want to know what you think, whether or not this was a horror film. Till next time, this is JR Horror Fiend TV, the Fiend Zone. Till next time, peace. Watch Fantastic Four.